Every single time we go to a Toastmasters Club meeting, we realize that we're coming from a minimum requirement mediocrity, a minimum requirement mediocre society into a room where we're committed and convinced that together we can rise. That if we talk about the right things and support one another, we can actually leave the meeting better than we were when we arrived. So how can I teach that principle from a stage and an amusing example or story from a personal experience? We live in a minimum requirement mediocrity. And every time I get on an airplane, a commercial airline, I'm reminded of this minimum requirement world in which we live. Every single time I get on an airplane, I am force-fed the pre-flight safety demonstration, no matter what. I live in the mountains of Salt Lake City, Utah. I usually have to go from Salt Lake City to Detroit or to Minneapolis or to Atlanta before I go anywhere else, which means I have to listen or be force-fed that pre-flight safety demonstration twice on my way to the destination and then at least twice on my way back. Do any of you listen to the pre-flight safety demonstration when you're on board the plane? If you do, you need therapy. Anybody who has to be taught how to put a seatbelt on should not be allowed in public unsupervised. And yet they continuously force feed it because it's their job. This kills me. Bring your seat up to the most upright and uncomfortable position. Alive, dead. Alive, dead. Alive, dead. I survived a plane crash in 1988. Trust me, when you finally go down, 1.5 inches does not make a difference. And the flight attendants, they lie. They stand up and they say, "We're here for your safety." No, they're not. When you're going down, they are strapped in and screaming just like we are. Just once, I want the flight attendant to give me the microphone so I can share with the passengers what really happens in an emergency experience. Ladies and gentlemen, in the event of a decrease in cabin pressure, a little gold cup's going to conk you in the head. When you stop screaming, brace yourself for a 200 feet per second vertical dive. And if you're traveling with more than one child, pick your favorite. Because you ain't got enough time to make another choice. What happens when we get on an airplane and the flight attendant isn't focused in on minimum requirement mediocrity? He or she is not trying to think outside the lines or think outside the box. They know that what it takes to take themselves to the next level is already inside of them. They just need to trigger more passion, creativity, and imagination. Do we not remember those flights? Do we not remember the flight attendants that make flying fun? Oh, yeah. So I'm flying on a Delta Airlines jet. We're coming into Dallas, Texas, and we hit huge turbulence. We're bouncing all over the sky. We finally land. We bounce. We bounce. Taxi to the gate. Flight attendant comes over the PA system. Welcome to Dallas, Texas. If you enjoyed your flight, tell your friends you flew Delta Airlines. If you did not enjoy your flight, tell your friends you flew Southwest. And we all laughed. And she says, and please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened while Captain Kangaroo bounces us the rest of the way to the gate. That's funny. And is it contagious? Oh, yeah. An elderly woman walking in the aisle right behind me with her cane. She comes to the doorway. You the pilot? Yes, ma'am. Did we really land or did we get shot down? What are you willing to do that no one else is willing to do? What are you willing to do to examine your life experiences and extract from them the life lessons and using the art and science of storytelling, be able to polish them to make them funny, provocative, and emotional, to put in a speech, to take your speaking to the Hall of Fame level? All because Zig Ziglar was my mentor. And who knows, maybe someday, God willing, you'll allow me to be your mentor and your coach too. Having said this, I want to leave you with some proprietary information. In my public speaking course, I think the fundamental way we can actually structure our speeches to use the power of storytelling is to use what I call the speaker's triangle. It's an inverted triangle that answers the three most popular and important questions that every listener craves the answers to. Number one, why should I listen to you? It's the credibility piece. Number two, can I do it too? It's the possibility piece. And how do I do it? How do I get from where I am to where I want to be? It's the usability piece. So to answer these three questions and do my best to take you to the next level and leave you in better shape than you were when you signed up for this Toastmasters virtual convention, let's just dive deeper into those three questions and let me illustrate them with three stories. Question number one, why should I listen to you? Is always answered with a personal experience that expands someone's vision and ability to redefine what's possible. For example, on October 23rd, I had the rare and awesome opportunity to soar to the edge of space in a U-2 reconnaissance aircraft. It required a presidential signature. Not very many civilians get this opportunity. And because it's a classified mission, I can only tell you that at 70,000 feet above the Earth's surface, you see mapped outlines of America. At 80,000 feet, you see more of the world. And at 90,000 feet, you actually tear up and believe you can reach out and touch the face of God. It was a spiritual experience I wish every single one of you could have. For almost 5 hours, I sat in the sounds of silence, looking at the breathtaking curvature of the earth, gazing into the endless blackness of the universe, pondering eternity and my place in it. And when we landed, do you know what occurred to me? Everything we can take with us when we die, I had aboard with me on that aircraft. My education, my character, my convictions, and my memory of whether or not my life mattered. Did I make a difference? Did I leave everybody saying, I like me best when I'm with you? I want to see you again. Doesn't this fire you up to become a better speaker? Doesn't this fire you up knowing that the quickest and greatest way we can actually change the world and make our lives matter, make a difference, is by sharing our love, our wisdom, our strategies in our speeches to uplift everyone in the sound of our voices. Yeah. And when we do so and can craft the right story and extract the correct life lessons, it's amazing how we can actually uplift every individual in our audience by up-leveling their mindset and belief.